Hi everyone, I'm Sarah Hall, and this is your full moon reading for September 28th through October 12th, 2015. Now, for some of you, depending on the time zone you're in, the full moon hit last night, or for others, it will be today or this evening. Either way, we are in the midst of experiencing this full moon now because its energy is with us both before and around 3 days after the full moon occurs. This moon is one that I want to take a little bit of time introducing and talking to you about before we begin our reading, because as many of you know, this is a very special and rare full moon that we're having right now. This full moon, just like the last one, is a supermoon. And when we have a supermoon, the moon is much closer to the Earth than usual. And it might be interesting for you to know that this is also the closest the moon will be to the Earth in 2015. So when the moon is very close to the Earth, what we have is a very strong impact from the moon's energy. We can really, really strongly feel its effects, whether we're sensitive or not, whether we're totally aware of it or not. The moon's energy is very, very much with us and very much working on us, transforming us, no matter how we relate with it. This is also a blood moon lunar eclipse. So this combination of lunar events is happening for the first time in 30 years. This is a very, very transformational moon, and another supermoon eclipse will not occur again until the year 2033. So this is a very, very big time of transformation, of change. Also, just to describe the meaning of the blood moon, it has the blood moon name because during this eclipse, the moon takes on a reddish color in its appearance, and this will be the fourth blood moon we've seen in the past 18 months. So it's part of a series of ongoing energy that has been with us very strongly. So what this moon represents is that it marks a very important transformational moment on planet Earth. What's happening on planet Earth right now is this. We are all being driven to a strong collective experience of transformation to opening to higher consciousness. And what happens in the process of opening to higher consciousness is that there is a lot of polarization of consciousness energy, of the feelings, thoughts, the different sort of collective movements of activity that are happening for us as a civilization. So what's happening right now is sort of like a blooming. If you can imagine the earth and its heart chakra being right before you, and that heart chakra of planet Earth, which includes us, is opening up really big. This time represents perhaps the movement of a petal just moving down, and we can really feel that shift, that movement. It's sort of like, sometimes there is an in-breath, we are collectively preparing for a shift, and then when that out-breath happens, when the rhythm occurs where we are meant to then release or let go, it marks a difference in the feeling collectively. It's sort of like we're giving birth to new conditions, and in that birth-giving process, there is a time when there are contractions or birth pangs, and a time when perhaps that the contractions relax a little bit. So right now is a time that's sort of like a contraction. And as I was saying before, what that amounts to is that there can be a polarization in energy, meaning the negative energy that we're experiencing on Earth might become very obvious, and the positive energy, the beauty, the creativeness, the good becomes equally as prominent, because what this shift is doing is to kind of shift out that lower stuff by being able to identify it a little bit more strongly. So we're going to see that there may be a little bit of polarization where some people, organizations, or collectives are experiencing some negative stuff, but really it's because they need to purge it. They need to face it. You might have things that are coming up in your life that you really need to be strong with in order to let go, because that is part of raising yourself into this higher consciousness, this beautiful transformation that is happening. And trust that this transformation is for the good. Trust this spiritual work. It's very, 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 very positive, no matter how it may feel, no matter how tough the purging part may feel, the letting go may feel. It is all for our highest good. And again, this this transformation applies to us at an individual level with our own individual experiences, as well as with some things that are going on collectively. So concern yourself with what's going on in your life and with the things that you're being called to bring your attention to collectively, whether that be an important issue or communal sort of thing that might be really calling your passion and your attention, then pay attention to that. Or if you're being more focused into, internal stuff for your life, then that's where your spiritual work belongs. Any way you look at it, this is a time where there's a lot of very deep, introspective spiritual work happening. I'm getting a very strong message from Spirit at this time to be strong, to do this spiritual work that you are being called to do right now. Don't be afraid to face the dark stuff in order to face the truth, because that's sometimes what it takes to face the truth, is to look at things that make us uncomfortable. Because when we look at the things that make us uncomfortable, we become aware of them. And when we become aware of them, we are able to identify them, to let them go, to bring them to the light, and to no longer let them pull the puppet strings behind the scenes or behind the curtains in our lives, again, both individually and collectively. And when we purge out or release the old negative stuff, it makes us lighter. It makes us free, as if we are flying with wings in the sky and able to achieve and accomplish and forgive just about anything. We're going to be experiencing some wonderful, wonderful benefits on the other side of the transformations that are happening collectively now. And Spirit, God, the angels, want to thank you so much for being part of Planet Earth during this wonderful time of transformation, because this is such an important time. You are all, each and every single one of you, whether you know it or not, a part of the transformation and the great collective healing that is happening. Remember that we are, each and every one of us, our brother's keepers. So what you're doing to shift your own life, what you're doing to be responsible for taking care of you, or what you're being called to for your friends and family and community and civilization, you're doing it for everybody. This is something that you're doing for the entire human collective, and this is an imprint that lasts generations long. We're, in other words, walking through a spiritual transformation right now, and it's as if we're walking through a gate that we will never pass back through again. So we're walking through it, we won't go back to the past again. We're going into a very new part of our growth spiritually together. So again, this is a time not to stuff things down. Do not abandon yourself during this time. In other words, if you're being called to be introspective, be introspective. If you're being called to really speak up in the face of relationships, speak up. Do not abandon yourself. Really trust in the work that is happening. Trust the changes that life has brought you and the strength that life is asking of you at this time. Because whatever challenges may come on your path, whatever changes may have shocked you and come into your life at this time, or maybe they haven't shocked you, trust them, because they are all good for you and they are all part of this process that we all really, really need at this time. So anyways, thank you so much for being with me as we sort of discuss these beautiful changes. I feel so honored to be able to connect with you guys about this. Let's now go to the cards. Today, since this is a special moon with equally special energy and spiritual guidance coming through with it, I have decided to pull several cards. As you can see right here, I'll just explain the levels that I have. So right here at the top, this is a Goddess Guidance Oracle card, and it is by Doreen Virtue. And this is a card that is going to represent for us the greater spiritual message that we have at the core, the greater theme that Spirit wants to give us at the core of this time. The next little level of cards that we have is from the Fairies deck, and the Healing with the Fairies deck, also by Doreen Virtue, is going to represent our everyday life sort of stuff, guidance and messages regarding everyday life stuff. And remember that there's no separation between what you think of as your quote-unquote spiritual life and what is just life, just the regular things that are happening in the simplicity of the revolving motions of a routine. So this sort of has to do with that plane, and it is very spiritual. The last little tier of cards that we have right here is the magical messages from the Mermaids and Dolphins cards, also by Doreen Virtue. And I put the Mermaids cards at the bottom because these will represent our deep subconscious beliefs or deeper things that we are also releasing, and they will all sort of coincide together. So I'm going to start with the first two cards that I've laid right here on this side to get our first little collective message. So let's see. Beautiful. So I'm going to just show you both of these cards. We're going to start with the Fairy card. And this Fairy card, oh, you can see it. This is the Romantic Partner card. And the Romantic Partner card is telling you that some of the incredible changes that are happening in your life right now have to do with your romantic life. This has to do with the partnering of the divine masculine and the divine feminine energy in our romantic spiritual relationships at this time. And when I refer to the divine masculine and feminine energies, I'm not referring to your gender. I'm not referring to whether or not you're male or female, because each and every one of us has masculine energy and feminine energy in us, no matter our gender. So this applies to all kinds of relationships, no matter your gender. And what this message is telling us is that such a huge part of what we are learning and achieving in this big spiritual shift is happening in the realm of relationships. In fact, relationships are the ground zero of the biggest place where we do spiritual work in our lives as human beings. You know, just as a general rule of Earth life. That's a very strong truth. But particularly when it comes to romantic relationships are some of the closest connections you have to feeling as if you are touching God. So if you've ever been in love, or have ever read a story about being in love, or have felt a song about being in love, you'll notice that there is this great amount of beauty and desire that is connected to that energy. And that desire represents the urge to merge with God. That great passion and love, where it exists, is the recognition of the divine. It is the recognition of God's presence happening profoundly and actively in your life. So pay attention to where passion shows up in your life, to where you feel a divine connection with another person, because this is the recognition of God. And together with your partner, or with the partner that you will meet or attract in your life during this time, that is where you will be doing the heart of so much of your spiritual transformation. And it will be happening at an everyday level. So in other words, this is the day-to-day experiences you are having with that partner, your ability for both of you to collaborate on life in a day-to-day sort of experience. So notice the way that you and your partner are harmonizing and connecting with one another. Or if you're waiting for a partner, wanting to attract one, notice the ways that you are interacting with your daily life through your thoughts, your mood, your intentions, your daily rituals and lifestyles, and bring it up to the integrity of where you know you are meant to live and act, because that is going to help to attract your partner very, very quickly. When you are living in your full integrity, you attract your romantic partner. And know too that for soulmates who have not yet met, you are affecting your soulmate's energy right now, and they are affecting your energy. So the things that you do to improve your life, you're doing to catalyze also your partner's life, and to affect the rate at which you two are preparing yourselves to meet one another in your lives. So that's a very beautiful, exciting message. The other message that's coming out of this is to remember that sacred sexuality actually plays a very profound role in the way that we are transforming as a species. And I'm going to get into some of the physical aspects of this because they are very important. So when we connect to one another sexually, obviously creative power is sexual power is very creative, very, very, very creative. It's wonderful. We can look at it physically. It's got the ability to create a whole new life. We have the ability to conceive a baby with our sexuality. And when we create a baby, of course, we are combining the DNA of two people that will result in a new step and leap forward in the evolution of our species. So that's going on at a physical level, but even beyond just the actual procreation, there is great creativity that is happening between two partners, whether they're having a baby or making a baby or not. So just in the act of having sex, there are incredible amounts of energy that are exchanged between two partners, both physically and emotionally and spiritually. And when you make that imprint on your partner, you are actually creating a very, very powerful catalyst for change with them. You are becoming one another, in effect. There are even studies that show that you carry around the DNA, the physical DNA of your partner long after you've had sex with them. So just their sexual juices getting in you transfer DNA to one another, and their physical literally starts to impact your physical. Not to mention all the incredible benefits and changes that the body goes through in response to sex. There are endless health benefits to it, and they are all tied to the intentions, the spiritual intentions that you place into it, and to the things that each of you are sharing. I feel as if this might be a whole other video topic on its own, so if you guys would like a video on sacred sexuality and how it transforms us, comment below. I will work on one, and we'll have a discussion on that later. Yay! But for now, thank you, angels, for all that thorough information. And now the energy that comes right underneath it from our Magical Mermaids deck, which again represents the deeper consciousness, the deeper subconscious things that we need to be aware of, is the Consult an Expert card. So the message that comes through this, right again on the heels of the Romantic Partner card, is that it's important to work on your relationship. This is a time not to abandon your relationship. This is the time to get really, really connected close to your romantic partner, to take the time to communicate with him or her, and to seek to understand them, to really collaborate, to really shift and change with one another. You are both changing one another's lives for the better, and make sure that you speak up for your needs. Do not ever abandon your partner by abandoning yourself in the midst of a relationship. And what I mean in saying that is, don't abandon yourself by not speaking up when you have a need or a feeling that needs to be voiced in your relationship. Don't be afraid to speak your mind, to speak your truth, because when you speak your truth, you're laying your cards all out on the table so that your partner knows what your needs are, so that you're able to take your needs and your partner's needs and make a compromise and make a relationship that will be the ultimate best container for both of your needs. So really, really be conscientious about speaking your truest needs and forge a commitment between one another that you are both so safe to communicate exactly what your thoughts, feelings, and needs are, and that you will love each other unconditionally despite the things that you're thinking, because that's what real love does. It loves you for no matter who you are. It loves you despite whatever conditions come up in life, whatever challenges come up in life, and for whatever different questions might be coming across in your mind, or different needs might be rising to the surface. It says, yes, I will give you space to express these things, and I allow you to. That's the pact of a really beautiful, healthy commitment. What I'm also getting with this card is that this is a wonderful time to remember to call upon God call upon the angels for help. Literally, consult an expert. So this could be reading, for example, a book that will give you maybe more information about, sort of facing some things that might be challenging you in the relationship, if that's something that resonates. Again, for others, this may mean praying or connecting together with God, asking for help in understanding your relationship, or again, in attracting or preparing yourself for your relationship. Or this could even mean consult a counselor, find someone to give you guidance, whether that be a spiritual therapist like myself or so many other spiritual therapies out there, or whether it be a relationship counselor, marriage counselor, anything like that. Go ahead and get the help and the extra information that you need, because sometimes that third party outside observer is able to illuminate things that you may have never thought of looking into before in your partnership. So just really, again, be there for your relationship right now. Don't walk away from the work that needs to be done. The time is now. The time is now. Wow, what a powerful message. Okay, let's go on to our second card here. Okay, so, I love this. The second card that we have from the Fairies deck is the Parenting and Children card, and this could not have come in a better order in the placement of our cards, because didn't we just get done talking about sacred sexuality and romantic partners? Well, speaking of that, parenting and children. So whether or not you are an actual physical parent in your life with children of your own that you are raising with your romantic partner, this is a card that has to do with what you are helping to guide in your life. So for example, that can definitely resonate at the level of relationships. It can definitely resonate with, for example, a romantic partner, with your family members, with your friends, or with your children or other young people that you are guiding and helping in life. And this can also do with the ways that you are guiding and nurturing yourself in your life at this time. Remember, you are your own inner parent and your own inner child at the same time. So you are really being called to be conscious with what you need to do in order to nurture yourself better at this time. So a couple of things are coming through with this. First of all, set really strong boundaries when it comes to self-care or the care of another in your life. Very strong boundaries. Don't be afraid to be strict with other people. Do not be afraid to say no. Do not be afraid to shut down things in your schedule or your life that are complicating it too much. Because when you say no to the things that are not healthy for you or that don't serve you anymore, you're doing something really good for the entire planet, for the entire collective. What you are doing is sending a strong message to the collective that no, this busyness in my schedule or whatever it may be is not serving us. It's not good for us. And by me saying no and being strong, we are finding an alternative way of life to share with one another. So do that in your own life and do that with other people. If you've got a child in your life that you're taking care of, or even a friendship where there's someone that you do give a lot of advice or help to, say no. Do not enable other people to continue doing unhealthy things, in their lives. Ask people to step up and be strong at this time. Ask people to do their spiritual work, to really shoulder their own responsibilities and their own, kind of emotional baggage at this time. It's really a big time for this don't abandon yourself message to come true, to be strong and to face the truth. So require that of the other people that are in your life as well right now. Now, on a bigger collective scale, this is a message that has come through actually for a couple of days for me in my own life as I've been working with Spirit and just communicating with the angels. And I want to share that message with you right now, which is this, that on a collective human level, we are literally our salvation, and that's kind of a funny word to use, but I'll go into that later. The movement, our movement into love, that's a better word than salvation right here. Our collective movement into a true collective healing and movement into love is very much being brought about by the next generation that we are giving birth to. So all of the things that you might see in this world that illuminate great passion, or maybe even great anger, or discomfort that we look at, things such as war, thinking of the fact that, in the country that, for example, I live in the United States, most of our tax money is going towards wars. And they need to stop, these things. Or for example, if you feel very passionate about the environment and genetically modified plants and the disaster that could potentially mean for all of humanity in terms of our food supply. Again, that could be a whole nother video itself. If you'd like to learn more, comment below and I will, you can request that video from me. These issues that are coming up in life that you may feel very strongly about, it's very important to take action and be truthful and strong about them now, to be the strong parenting role on this earth, and to protect your inner child and our future children, the future generations that come, by making changes. And also to know that the world that we're handing down to our children are bringing that salvation to us. They are helping to move us into the light in an even greater way than we will ever be able to achieve. They will be around to see things that we will never know. Just like in that song, What a Wonderful World. Gosh, I love that. So really focus and pay attention to the ways that we are passing down knowledge to the next generation, whether it be through the media, through examples that we give to children around us, through our education system. Just pay attention to it and put your intentions of love and authenticity and really beautiful guidance in your intentions to heal and guide children. It's so important right now. Our children are everything to us, and they are going to move us one step further into creating heaven on earth in this world we live in. So the next message that we're getting here on our deeper level from the mermaids is the card Make a Decision. So again, this is a card that says that it's time to take a really strong action step when it comes to setting boundaries in your relationships. Or big strong relationships for yourself, your big strong decisions in your relationship for yourself. So it is time to really listen to your intuition, and if you've been feeling stuck, make a decision. This is the time to get active in your life. This is not the time to kind of bat things back and forth and go, oh, I wonder, I don't know, what if. Really be strong with that part of the ego that is afraid of making a decision and taking an action step forward at this time, and just discipline it by saying, you know what, I don't have to climb a mountain in one day, but I can take one simple baby step towards my truth, towards what I need to do in my life at this time. So maybe, for example, you're being asked to leave a job or leave a relationship or something like that. Do it now. Speak up today. It is time to take action. No more putting it off. This is the time to act. Again, do not abandon yourself and the needs that you are being entrusted with right now, because those needs, those feelings, those burning desires within you are a direct message from God, a direct request from God that is showing you, lighting the way to what will make you happier, to what will make you more free, to what will bring about your dreams coming true at this time. So trust those things, my beautiful ones. Take action now. Again, if you need help on those decisions that you need to make, remember this card that came right before. Consult an expert. Ask someone who can give you an outside opinion, who will help you make that decision, help you see a new perspective on that decision, and go for it. Okay, this is just so exciting. Thank you guys so much for being here with me. This is such a great reading. Okay, so let's go into our final act. Oh, I love these two cards that have come through. The first card is kindness. Second card is dream big. So let's start with the kindness card. Kindness from the Fairies deck. What this is saying is that throughout these changes, it is incredibly important for us, first of all, to be very kind, loving, and gentle with ourselves. And secondly, to remember that the changes that are coming along in our lives right now are for our good. No matter how challenging, how hard this all may seem, whatever's going on in your life, this is God's way of taking care of you. This is Spirit's way of bringing you forward into a true healing. Even if it feels very, very difficult to purge or face or let go of the things you don't need anymore, this is good for you. God is bringing you exactly what you need in order to grow and to fulfill your highest potential at this time. This is also a card reminding you that in the midst of your relationship, since this whole tier of cards is a lot about our daily life sort of lessons, particularly as how they connect to our relationships, this reminds you, be kind. Choose, when you have the choice between being right or being kind, choose kindness. Those are words from Dr. Wayne Dyer, beautiful spiritual healer who is now in heaven. Who coincidentally passed away on the last supermoon that we had this past month. And ever since that past supermoon, we have been going through one of the biggest transformational months of this entire year. So us being in this full moon right now marks a big point within all the transformation that's been going on this month. So choose to be kind. Choose to be loving, even if being kind and being loving, again, means that you have to be more assertive and strict with your boundaries. Remember that true compassion begins with yourself, begins with holding the highest needs of the situation first above what is easier to do. So don't take the easy way out. Sometimes to be kind takes courage. Takes a lot of strength because it means standing up to dark forces. It means standing up to your ego. It means standing up to perhaps your laziness or your fear in order to be truly good to yourself. So be courageous, be strong, and be kind. Take care of one another. All right, let's see what our last card has to say to us, the Dream Big card. Oh, this is so beautiful. This is a card that tells you that truly, this is a time where we are moving into a massive, beautiful change on this planet, that collectively we are bringing about a new heaven on earth, that collectively we are ascending to becoming a people, to becoming a collective human family who will operate based on pure love. Spirit and the angels have shown us, many of us, myself as a spiritual medium and so many others as well, that we are moving into a lighter vibrational frequency. And of course, I give all credit to God for the messages that come through about this, and I'm so grateful to be sharing them with you right now. But we're moving into a world where we will transcend things such as inequality, such as lack, such as war. We are moving into a love-based consciousness on this planet. But remember that in order to get to that place, you've got to do the spiritual work first. We've got to face the dark stuff. And that's the lifetime that we all incarnated into during this time that we're in this planet, this important juncture, this crucial juncture, is a time where we're being really asked to face the dark stuff, the scary stuff, to heal, to radically love, and to radically forgive. Forgiveness is the doorway to heaven. Forgiveness is the doorway to that future that is based on love. In that future, we have the ability to defy gravity, to fly, to manifest things at our very fingertips. We have the ability to attract what we desire just based on desire itself. Desire is the currency of the universe. In other words, if you want it, you get it. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to slave away. There doesn't have to be systems of money in which there is inequality and there are children that go hungry. These things are very, very more quickly than we in our human perception are able to see being eradicated and cleaned out of our world. But have patience. Have patience. See us, envision us succeeding all together in this process. And we'll see, at what rate and pace, this may manifest collectively. Maybe it won't happen in our lifetimes. Maybe it will. I'm not going to pretend I know anything about that. I'm just a little old me over here. But God tells us that it will be so, that we will experience this beautiful movement into love, and we are co-creating that paradise all together with God. So do the spiritual work. do the spiritual work. Roll up your sleeves. Band together. Dream big. Envision a life for yourself that reflects the love that you want to see for the collective. Envision a life for yourself that is full of peace and success and joy and fun and just all the things that you desire to experience. I feel so truly humbled in being able to give you guys, to talk with you guys about these things today. This is just such a beautiful time to be alive, and I'm humbled to be in all of your presence during this time, because you are all my great inspiration, just for existing, just for connecting with all of us here in the human family together. So let's go ahead and reveal our final card from the Goddess Guidance deck. It says, be strong. Oh, wow, that's wonderful. And that has been a message that has been ringing clear and true through the entire reading, is be strong. Face what you need to face at this time. You are stronger than you think you are. Strength is a resonance that is out there in the world. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, just resonate with strength. Shift your resonance to match or align with the strength that already exists in the world, and know that the level of strength that we have the ability to create in our lives is truly infinite. It's beyond what you think it is. You are an unlimited being. You are a piece of God. You are. Every single person on this planet is. So strong and so beautiful. You are all incredibly wise spiritual beings. Know that you are all connected to God, and because you're all connected to God, you're all connected to God's strength. You are all connected to God's ability to create. In other words, you create as God creates, have the ability to create anything, and you are connected to God's knowledge and wisdom. There's literally no piece of knowledge or wisdom that is being barred from us. As human beings, we have the ability to understand anything in the universe, just by, again, connecting with that collective. So be strong. Believe in your strength. Affirm with me now, I am strong. I am strong. So in conclusion to this reading today, I would like to join with you guys in just a quick prayer. So if you could all just with me together place your hands on your heart and take a nice, deep, beautiful breath. Go ahead and call upon whatever higher spiritual power you feel the most aligned with, whether that be your angels, an ascended master, just God in general, Mother Nature, Mother Earth. And take a moment and just say, thank you, existence. Thank you, consciousness. Thank you, spirit. Thank you for your guidance. Thank you, self. Thank yourself for being here on this planet today. Thank you for the strength that we've been given to be part of this miraculous time of change on this beautiful planet that we live on. Thank you. Wow. All right, well, that is it for our reading today. Thank you for listening. I gave you a little bit of a longer one today, since again, we are in a very special, beautiful time of energy. I love you all so much, and I cannot stress that enough. You are all such a deep, powerful inspiration to me. I really do love connecting with all of you. So if you feel guided to keep in touch with me, you can find my links to Facebook and Twitter in the description below. And if you would like your own personal reading with me, a spiritual healing or guidance session with me, or to have a conversation about anything at all in the world, I do offer these sessions online, by phone, by Skype, by email, and you can check them out at my website, www.seraphim.com, for more information and to connect with me. Either way, thank you so much for watching. I love you all so much, and know that you are so loved and so very blessed. Bye.